Hello everyone. Today I'm actually going to be sharing how we can create small, really small terracotta spaces. Now, obviously, those who are already into jewelry making would be aware of what the spacer basically does. And obviously, you have a different kinds of spacer. This is just one such variety, I would say. So typically what I have here is a bunch of round beads. They are fired. Visibly, you can make out that. Typically what I would do is, if I don't want to basically assemble, things like this in a continuous series, and say I want maybe something in between these beads, typically that's when I use a spacer. And you can actually make something like that even in terracotta. So what I have here is a slab, and it's roughly about the thickness of what I would typically choose for making studs. So that's about 0.2 centimeter thickness. That's how the slab is. And what I have here is a teeny tiny little cookie cutter. This is really small. It's got a nice starry slash floral shape. So this is what I'm going to be using. Nothing too I'm not going to be using any sophisticated tools or anything of that sort. So what I would typically do is, this is a balling tool. This is I think a lot of you might have basically seen this for I think when they're working on polymer clay and all that. I think they use this quite a bit. So I tend to make use of this for this particular for doing this particular design. So I use this because this is so small. It's only my pinky finger actually goes in. So I would just cut out a bunch of these, and let's see what we can actually do to this way. In fact, I think a square also would work pretty well. So things get equally distributed around this. So what will happen is, I would actually end up making a depression here, and this would kind of clasp this. It would kind of act like a cap to this particular bead. That's how I'm kind of having it in mind. So I think I have some here. Obviously the usual set of things, like flattening it, because these are so small. You may just want to be a little extra careful with these. They're really tiny. They're just about this much. So this very little handling room. So we do obviously flatten both the front as well as the back for this, and kind of smoothen the edges as well for all of these. So let's begin doing that. So as you see, what I've done here is, I've kind of smoothened it all out, and I have just these two left. I have just a little bit of oil in my hands. I'm actually, what I just did is, I just smoothened out the gaps here, just so that they are nice and neat. And then I keep it on the board. I just press it down a little bit, just so that it has a nice smoothened out kind of a look, and nothing is too sharp, or nothing that will basically hurt the skin when it's worn. Those are a few things that one must always take care of, because this is jewelry. So you will have to always be considerate about making things like this, thinking about how the person would wear it, and would that person be comfortable wearing it. So when they're like smoothened edges like this will in no way hurt the skin, and it's quite nice actually. You see this? So once this is done, obviously you can choose to add designs to it or whatever. Now, because these are so small, I would typically not add like too many designs. I might just add like just a bunch of lines, kind of making it look like a flower. Because what will happen ultimately is that what will happen is that I will end up putting a hole through this. So like that. So I would typically go through that kind of a design in all of these. And after that, what I would also do is, let's basically put the hole as well. I have a refill over here. Just line it with a little bit of oil so that you get a nice clean, yeah. So I just want to make sure this is basically done for all of these, something like this. So this itself can act as a bead. In fact, you can also just go ahead and make this itself into a bead, and they're really cute. You can make these into earrings by so many methods of assembling these days. So let's begin to do all of these to this as well. The only thing is that you might have to work a little bit quicker because these are so small, they tend to dry out quickly. So I'll get to this right away. So as you see, I've already begun with the, I'm going to start with the next process. In fact, I've already started it. That is, if you see over here, you see a visible difference between these two. This is more curved. This one is definitely more curved, reminds me more of a spacer, because this is exactly the purpose of it, so that it's able to nicely clasp the bead, just kind of grip and hold on to it in this manner. Now we're typically going to do that, and I'll show you just how I actually got something like this to have that depression. So what I usually use is, again, this kind of a sponge, and what I would do is take this bead, face it the back side, and I have a little bit of oil so that it doesn't stick, and I would just press it down. I would get a nice little depression like this. Don't worry about the marks which are coming on this, because we can just get rid of that, because it's just the mark of the sponge which kind of falling on that. So let's quickly begin to give that kind of a depression to these. So this actually reminds you of those, will be very close to those metal spacers that you get in shops. Just that this is taking it one step further when you're actually creating these with terracotta, so you don't have to really use those metal ones. This can be a little time consuming, but I think it's an interesting project because really easy when you get able to get like a bunch of them done in one go. So I have these here. All of them are kind of nice and having a circular kind of a form. I'll just, as usual, just smoothen it a bit. This is just a little bit of water, and this is only to get rid of the this is only to get rid of all these little marks. And you see, just one quick wipe of water and it's already kind of clearing it up. So that's it. You don't really need anything more than that. I would generally go through this hole once again, just so that it's nice and clean. And it's got this nice little depression as well. So that's something like that. And then I'm sure you must have seen designs like these, and then you would have one that's like this over here. Okay, I'm actually struggling to hold this right now, but okay. So, and this just holds the bead. This would just when you put it like that, it would just look so pretty. So this is pretty much what I wanted to share with you all today. We kind of design the rest of these and get it going. I'm not mixing, there's no oil at this stage. I'm just using a little bit of water. Like I said, because these pieces are small, they tend to dry out almost very quickly, and there is not much humidity where I stay, so it's it's very dry. Oops. So yeah, I think, it's because it's so small, sometimes handling it in your hand is, you have to be gentle, and at the same time you have to work fast as well. So yep, but I think this will be this should be a nice interesting project. Experiment with shapes. I think something like a square would also work really well, because it'll kind of, it's got four corners which will kind of clasp the bead in a very nice manner. So yep. Like I said, do not forget to double check on the size of the, the hole when you make them. Don't forget about making sure they are nice and clean, because if they get fired, there is nothing that you can actually do about it. You might only have to, if you have plans of, cording them with a black nylon cord, and you realize that this hole is too small, and it's not clean, then it's just going to make a mess. All that work is just down the drain. I mean, I wouldn't say down the drain, okay, it's probably too drastic to say that, but you'll have to probably settle in for a gear wire kind of an assembling or something like that. I mean, I would typically not like that, only because, I when I generally try to assemble jewelry, I plan, thinking that, okay, I might want to actually assemble it using a black cord. So I typically don't like combining this size hole beads on a gear wire, because it just keeps shaking around. It's not the best. So yeah, I think all of these are done. These are really cute, tiny little beads. It's amazing how, how much one can really work on clay. I mean, do give this a try, everyone. I really hope, you like this video. If yes, then please like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for watching, everyone. I think, I really hope these little ones help you with your brand new projects. I think they are so adorable. I mean, look at that little dip. I think they're just perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Really hope you liked it. I like you saw, I didn't use too many sophisticated kind of tools. I just used a stylus, and I think this is these. I think when I bought this, I got a set of 4. So I have like 8 sizes, because this is a double-ended tool. So I got like 8 sizes. So I typically use this one for this kind of this size bead, which is roughly about 4 mm. No, probably more than that, about 5 mm roughly. So this probably helps, I think. I find, because this is probably the least used tool, to me. I don't use this tool much, but for this, I think this is just perfect, because it gives a beautiful, nice curved depression, and I like that neatness in clay. I really hope you found this useful, everyone. If yes, then please like the video and subscribe. I know I'm saying this again, but yes. All right. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.